for a long overdue episode of the wildly popular podcast, Chasing Meeples. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you The Feeding. Should we be excited or run for the hills? Only one way to find out.
Hello, everybody. This is the Chasing Meeples podcast. I am your host, Chris, and as always, I am with my lovely co-host.
Hello, it's Angie.
Oh, yes, we are going again. We got another episode of the Chasing Meeples podcast. Angie, there has been so much going on in our life right now that I actually, after this podcast is recorded, have two podcasts to edit because, well, we have been so busy, but it is so exciting that I cannot wait to talk about it. And we're going to talk about it. But we're not going to talk about it right now. We're going to talk about a little bit of banter. Right?
That's right.
All right. So, banter schmanter. What are we doing? What are we talking about, Angie? Come on. High energy.
I don't know. You got this look on your face like you want to jump out of your seat. And I have a feeling like there's something you want to say.
No.
You're just like,
this is high energy, baby.
you look like that guy who preps the audience, stand up and clap and stuff like that.
That's what I'm doing.
That's what
I'm doing. I'm getting the Meeple Chasers
think
pumped.
Oh, okay.
Pumped
You're getting
for
pumped. I'm just looking at you like you're nuts.
Well, I am, but that's okay. I am getting everybody pumped for our episode. What did we call this episode? Feeding. This is the feeding episode.
Well, I want to say food. How about edible? No. How about digestibles? No.
No, how about feed?
Feed. Okay.
This is the Chasing Meeples feeding episode. It'll all make sense, ladies and gentlemen.
You'll do something. I trust you.
Oh, well, even I don't know if I'm able to make something cool out of the word feeding. Anyway.
You could do food.
Nope.
You could do food.
Nope, we're locked in. Feeding.
Sustenance. I don't know. We could think of something else.
The feeding.
It sounds like a horror movie.
It does. That's why I'm doing it.
That's why
I got it. All right. So we have some pretty cool stuff to talk about. In the last episode, we did mention that we had a couple board game publishers send us their prototypes. One of them was Ynaros Fallin. We got a chance to play that game. I think we talked a little bit about it, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. We did send it off to another person to check out, and I hope they enjoy it about as much as we did. It was fun. I definitely think, after playing it, it does shine at 2 players.
I think so.
I think it's
a head-to-head 2-player battle. I can't really see it playing any other way.
Yeah. The other excitement is, once again, like we mentioned in the last episode, Dinky Games did reach out to us and they wanted to know if we were willing to check out a new prototype for a game that they're going to be bringing to Kickstarter soon. And this one is, it's different than the last game that they kickstarted. The last game had a Regency theme.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking, Pride and Prejudice, all that good stuff. Can't think of it. Jane Austen novel stuff.
Bridgerton.
Yeah, that's the other one. And that game was quite a fun game to play.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah. We talked about that on a previous episode. And if you go to our YouTube channel, you will be able to check out the video that we did about that game.
Yes.
But we are not talking about the season.
Nope.
We are talking about their newest creation, Raccoon Restaurant.
Raccoon Restaurant.
So describe Raccoon Restaurant for the Meeple Chasers out
Oh, I can describe Raccoon Restaurant really well.
there. Okay.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
An audible teach of how to play the game.
Yeah.
Here we are. The board is set up to play our game. Every person gets a player board and a chef. Each chef has a unique ability. They're very interesting. One chef has the ability to... Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because this...
Why are you laughing?
You
One
finally
chef
get
has the ability to fill up their bowls with 3 items instead of 2. Another chef has the ability to continue gathering food much past the timer. One chef has the ability to feed the pig 1 less item. And the other chef has the ability to, when they get cards, they get to get 6 cards instead of 5. And I'll tell you what that really means.
What does that mean?
That's going to mean because there are 3 dumpsters. Everything in this game is cleverly named, and there are 3 dumpsters. There are a green one, a blue one, and a yellow one. And they have all matching colored chits to them, and each dumpster has unique combination of ingredients. And the first thing you're going to do is the gather phase. And you are going to set a 30-second timer. Each player is going to reach into 2 of the 3 dumpsters, turning over chits one at a time. They're going to take the food stuff and they're going to place it into a bowl on their food stand.
You're doing wonderful. You're doing better than the guy who narrated the video. I know what you're doing here.
Every person can put 2 of the same ingredient into a bowl, but they can never put more than those 2 ingredients on their entire board.
That is what I forgot during the rules teach, but that's fine.
That's
right
fine.
now, the Meeple Chasers get to this, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta.
It's only the gather phase, Chris. We still have 2 other phases.
Yeah, absolutely. But okay, all right. To our listeners out there, the look on her face right now is a look of, I should have been doing the voiceover during the rules teach. I'm going to show you right now. Chris. I can tell. That is what you're doing. You are doing it. This is... She's laughing because she's in about 2 seconds she's gonna fall off her chair.
You want me to do a bad job telling all the Meeple Chasers how to play the game?
Our measles?
The measles.
The measles chasers?
Chasers.
No. Okay, I'm sorry. I did not mean to cut you off. Go on.
All right. Then we're going to go into the feed phase. In the next phase of the game, each player gets 5 cards. Unless you are the green chef, he gets 6. And then we'll discard one of those cards. You're going to take your turns. You're going to lay out your food chits on each of the cards. You're going to try to feed as many cards as possible. Little animals, they all have little clever names. Each one is worth a different amount of points. So you want to feed the ones that have the most points, obviously, first. So the way you play is you lay your cards out and then you play your... And that's kind of the way you play all your type of resource management type of games. I've always noticed that you're laying... And I kind of picked that up on some of the games, but you lay your resources aside on your cards and you kind of maybe hold them off to the side and stuff like that. So with this game, I know you're laying down your cards, you're putting the food that you need on them. And then here's your tip. If there's another card there that you'd rather use the hot dog on, you can always take it off there and put it on a different card.
Yep, that's what I was doing.
That's what you do. Anyway, when you're done feeding the animals that you can feed, play proceeds to the left, and you are going to pass your cards to the person on your left. You are now mimicking the idea if your rat did not get fed in your restaurant, it's going to go home hungry, and he's going to move on to that restaurant on the left to see if they can get fed there. Play is going to proceed like that around the table until all the animals have been fed that could be fed. And then you set the ones aside that you have fed. You're going to go into the cleanup phase, and this is where you're going to return all the chit back into the dumpsters. You can clean off any on your player board that you wish to. You do not have to. You can keep those. And after 5 rounds of play like this, everybody will total up their points, and the player with the highest score is going to win. And that is how you play Raccoon Restaurant.
And you know, that was very good. That was very good. And okay, so when we're talking about tips, I got a tip for everybody out there. Here is my strategy. The green Raccoon Chef has the ability to draw 6 cards as opposed to the 5 customer cards that you normally get. I like the green chef because, well, green's my favorite color, hence I am the green meeple. But I digress. Here's a tip for you. If you're the green raccoon, take a look at a person at the table, figure out what their power is. So, example, Angie was the yellow chef. Angie was that power on the yellow chef has the ability to pay 1 less resource for a pig card. All right. So the pig cards are usually some pretty valuable cards. Now, the most valuable customers are the bears.
Yep.
Bears, but the pigs, they're right up there.
I think they're 4-pointers.
Yeah.
The bears are 6.
Bears are 6,
maybe?
pigs are 4 or 5,
4 or 5,
something like
yeah.
that. Yep. So I would, if I couldn't fulfill a pig, that was the card I discarded. No pig card for Angie. And I would look at her bowls too. I was like, it was Johnny. I was
You
Mr.
were really doing that? You're like trying to metagame on the Raccoon Restaurant in this little lightweight family game, little filler game, one that 8-year-olds could play. You're trying to metagame. Oh my God. This doesn't surprise me at all. Does not surprise me.
I don't like to lose. We've already covered this. We've already established.
Shit you don't like.
I don't like to lose.
Even a prototype game, you're not going to lose to
because
me.
I lose too much.
Actually, no, your win percentage has gone up.
Well,
it was last year, 2022. You sucked, but you're gotten better. You're getting better.
Thanks.
I think if you look at your app, you'll find out. Yes, Chris does record everything in a special app, and he's got a pie chart, and he knows when I am beating him.
Mm-hmm. All good gamers should be doing it. It is the BG Stats, the board game stats app, available on Android and Apple iOS. I'm pretty sure it's on iOS. But anyway, this thing is pretty awesome. So, yes, everything is recorded.
Oh, check out. What are we at?
Well, let me take a look here. For the year so far, 2023, I have a 63% win percentage.
See, you've gone up.
Yeah, you have a 36% win percentage. You've went down. No kidding. The year, I'm going to curse myself. 2023, the year of Chris. Let's see. 2022, you had a 50% win percentage. I had a 49%. 2021, I had a 50%. You had a 45%.
That
and then
makes sense. That's not 100.
Yeah. It is not 100. You are correct. And in the year of Angie, 2020, there's a story behind that one, everybody. You actually did have, you beat me by 1%, 53% win percentage over my 54. You had 54 and I had 53.
That's over 100.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a win percentage.
Oh, okay.
So that means out of 54% of the time that we played, you won.
All right.
Capiche?
Huh?
Capiche?
Okay.
Get it?
No.
Isn't that what you do? You go, capiche?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. You were here, like, looking at me like I was nuts when I was like,
well, first
what is Shamil? And what is a schmozzle? And you've never heard a capiche?
Well, at first it was such a whisper. It was almost like an ASMR. And I'm thinking, was that like a rat noise? Because we were just talking about Raccoon Restaurant and they have like rats in. I'm thinking, what is this little capiche? What are you talking about?
Yes, I randomly make rat noises.
Oh, well, I had no idea what you were doing. Then you're like, capiche?
Yes, I even had the hand thing going.
Capiche? Don't you know what capiche means? Do you know what capiche means? Do you actually know what capiche means?
Do you get it? You understand?
Do you understand?
Do you understand? Yeah.
Do you understand?
I told you. Capiche. Also known as a raccoon noise. Or a rat noise. All right, so we're getting off topic here.
No, we never do.
Never.
Never.
All right, so yeah, so that was excellent. You know, I enjoyed the game. When we first played it, I was shocked at how light it was. Right? Like, I don't know how to, not shocked. I guess maybe
You weren't expecting it.
I wasn't expecting it, right?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting
But the more we played it, the more it grew on me, right? So thinking about, yeah, it's a quick filler game. It's a good game to get people together. Just throw it on the table. Non-gamers.
Like a family gathering where you have non-gamers. And I think it would do better at a higher player count. Most of the time we played it at 2.
Yeah.
We played with Alex. We did play it at 3. But I'm thinking a higher player count, a family gathering, fun people, just kind of the grabbing in the dumpster diving. I think that could just kind of be fun and silly. Right. And what food are you grabbing and who, you can make it lighthearted and entertaining. I think the more people you play with.
Yeah.
Fun people.
Yep. So definitely not for those that are looking for something heavy, but if somebody's looking for something to play with your kids or some non-gamers and just have a good party night, I think that would be a good game. If I could offer up one thing that I did not like about it, and is the fact that maybe it's just me, right? Like if you're going to have a game that you time, throw in a sand timer.
Yeah.
Throw in a sand timer. Like, yes, everybody's got a cell phone, but I think just going that effort that I think the sand timer, flipping that.
Everybody, even if not everybody has a cell phone, and there are a certain generation of people, even if they do, there's not a timer on them.
Right.
So yeah, I think a sand timer would be a good idea. Because even if you're giving it to younger people, what if you're going to give it to as a gift to, a 10, 12-year-old, 8-year-old or something like that?
Now, granted, most children have cell phones at that age.
Yeah.
But so, I don't know. I would just say the addition of a sand timer would have been good.
Oh, I think so too.
Again, prototype copy might be added at the end of the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Or at some point in time during the process. Who am I to say? I'm just a guy who got a chance to play the game. So thank you to Dinky Games.
Thank you.
For letting us try it. So good stuff. And we did record a Kickstarter preview video. And by the time you listen to this, it'll probably already be on our YouTube channel. So you should check it out.
What are we playing? What have we been doing?
Okay. So now remember, last time we had a podcast, you do not like stuff that Chris finds interesting. You promised me you were going to have a better title for what did we play this week? So what is it?
I didn't.
Oh. It was on there. Go back and listen. Trust me.
I'll go back to listen when it's in my OneDrive.
Beer and bread episode, honey. I think you need to come up with a better way of saying it. That is what was played this week.
I will come up with a new way to say it. The new segment name. If you come up with something better than things I found interesting.
Nope. Just imagine. Just imagine how cool this is. Yes, you know why I know that? Because I listened to it 100,000 times.
Yeah, absolutely. I bet.
Okay, fine. What did we play? Angie?
Well, we've played a lot of games.
We did,
We
surprisingly.
were at the Gnoshery.
Yeah, we did play.
We're at the Gnoshery, so we played games that we don't own, like Castle Party and Boop. And then we played a game called Caesar, which we don't care for. Or I don't care for.
Yeah, no, not impressed with it. So for those that
I don't even know who makes it.
Yeah. So the Gnoshery, Angie and I went to the Gnoshery. The Gnoshery, if you've listened to us for a while, the Gnoshery is a really awesome board game cafe located in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. If you are ever there, check it out. It is it's fabulous. It is part of the Gnome Games, I guess, store. It's a Gnome Games store. Family of stores, yeah. Good stuff. So yeah, anyway, back to Caesar. So there's two games. Paolo Mori is the designer of that, and I'm a big fan of Libertalia. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. I don't know if Paolo Mori had something to do with what is the other game like that. So there was Caesar, and then there was like Blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg, you could do World War II in like 20 minutes. That was the phrase for that. And then Caesar came out, and it is, conquer Rome, basically, or seize Rome in 20 minutes.
Oh, is that like Blitzkrieg?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God, I never bought it.
Yeah. So
I don't like area control though. So I wasn't really going to like this because I don't like area control.
So it is.
I don't like area control, and that's what it is. It's area control. It wasn't when there's area control. Sometimes area control is slipped into a game. I can think that's when I dislike it the most. This I knew what it was area control going in, and that's a little bit like that battling when you thought I was not going to like dice thrown because I don't like that really head-to-head battling type of thing. But I knew going in that is what dice thrown was going to be. It wasn't a surprise. It wasn't a mechanic. That is what the game is. You may consider deck building. That is what it is a head-to-head battle. So going into it, I knew what it was going to be. This, I realized it was going to be area control. And when I say slipping it into, there is a game I love very much, who I believe it is slipped in there. But it is what it is.
What game is that?
Endless Winter.
Oh, yeah. Just let it go already.
I will. It's gone.
Let it go.
It's gone.
We know you don't like.
It's gone. And only the reason why it's gone is because I did hear Stan Krodansky when he was doing that live playthrough with Alan and Randy Kirby. Somebody had asked him in the chat if the mechanism works against the theme, which wins out. And he says mechanism always wins. So I thought that was a good answer.
Very good answer.
I thought that was a good answer because my issue with that area control is it didn't work with the theme. I'm saying Paleo-Americans are not going to let people squat in their backyard. That was my issue. Obviously, he went with the mechanism of the area control rather than Paleo-Americans not letting people squat in their backyard. Understandable. Awesome. I appreciate it. I think highly of him.
Good. Stan is pretty awesome. For those of you that want to hear more about Angie's love of that mechanism, you can check out our Endless Winter review episode. So anyway, so not impressed with Caesar. Not impressed with Caesar. It's actually like Caesar There's like
I
a
don't know. Yeah.
there's like a subtitle to the game. There's many different games called Caesar, but this is Caesar like sees Rome in 20 minutes or something like that.
But we did get Shelfie. That is what we brought home. Usually we go there. We do come home with a lot more.
Yeah, we got My Shelfie.
But we got My Shelfie.
Yep.
What did I say?
Shelfie.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Okay, we got My Shelfie, which I've been looking at, been really, really wanting for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We got that, and we got a chance to play it. And I'm really happy with it. There is a question about scoring, and I did pose that question to somebody that had a picture on Instagram. Did you read that?
No.
About the scoring. And they believe, as you do,
Thank you.
that you score every group and
Thank
not
you.
just your largest group
Thank you.
per color. Now, I'm going to say that is the way it's written.
Then that's
score
the way you
group.
score it.
In my mind, it should be the largest contiguous group per color. But I'm going to say that Phil Walker Hardy knew better. And if he wanted it that way, he would have wrote the rules that way.
That is true. And
so I will yield.
thank you
Phil
for
Walker Hardy.
yielding.
And
all right, so okay, Phil,
if you're listening,
what's the proper way to score? Is Chris right or is Angie right? You score as written in the rule book. That's what I'm going to say. So, Phil, reach out to us, man. Chasing Meeples at yahoo.com. Leave a comment on our YouTube channel. Whatever you got to do, just let us know. Angie has not slept a minute. No, I'm just kidding.
I am asking random people on Instagram when they show pictures of it. Oh, by the way, when you score that, how you score for each teal group or just...
That game it's fine. It's fine. I like the, the Connect 4-ish, feel of dropping the tokens. I want to get a couple more plays in before I make my final judgment on the game. At this point, it's fine.
I like it. I like the lighthearted break we had. I had been playing a lot of heavy Euro type games, serious games. And so I like the little break, the little, the cutesy, a little bit lighter weight, fun theme, maybe, if you want to call it that. So that's why I wanted to play it that day.
No, it's good. It's always good to play a light game.
Yes, it is okay.
It is okay.
Yeah.
So you did mention that we played Boop.
Play Boop.
Again, another game that I'm just going to say is fine. Like, it wasn't anything amazing. It was another... I liked the... I guess I liked the booping mechanic. I thought that was really interesting. The booping mechanic.
I like the bed.
Who won that one?
You did.
Yes, that's right. I did.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe you set me up for that. All because I would have taught that game better. Oh my gosh. You are so envious.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it in your face.
I am.
Okay. That's okay.
No, it was interesting. Not a game I would buy.
No.
Good game to play.
Yeah. That's the nice thing about a game library. And here's the interesting thing. There were the ladies sitting at the other table, and they kept asking the guy, I don't know what game they were playing. It was like I'm not sure. It was plastic. And they kept talking, they want that game. They want two of those games. They were asking the fella if they could find out if they could buy it. And he came back. I don't know if you heard him tell them.
Yeah, the game's out of print.
Well, it wasn't a game they had that they sold. Somebody gave it to them for their library. Mm-hmm. And that made me think.
Oh, I already told you we should do that.
No, but I never thought if they would. I'm assuming the game library gets a lot of things that they put maybe dent and dings in there. Mm-hmm. They get games from publishers. Do they need it? their shelves are pretty full the way they are.
Call me crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah. But if I had a board game cafe, like, this is not a knock on their lending library at all, or their stay and play library. I do feel like if you have it in your stay and play library, you got to have it on the shelf. You got to have it to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that surprised me. But it's there to entertain the people while they're eating. Most lending libraries don't have a store. The Gnoshery is really different.
Yeah.
That it is stay and play. You are at a board game cafe with a store. A lot of board game cafes they charge you $20 an hour to sit at the table, and some guy is going to make you a rotisserie hot dog or an oven pizza. Maybe he can throw a panini on the grill. I'm not sure. But you don't really expect quite that much. And you certainly don't expect a store. I don't think I've ever seen a board camp. You know what? Meepleville. I think the very few times you've seen a board game cafe, but they are very much, Gnoshery is very much cafe.
Yeah.
Meepleville seems to be a lot of board game library with some cafe and then a small store. Gnoshery is big cafe, small library, nice size store. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. And we've never been to Meepleville. We might be wrong. We just know what we've seen on YouTube.
But I watched it because I watched him give a tour of it.
Yeah.
And maybe he's got a bigger cafe.
Maybe.
But there's just like sit down restaurant. People are going to come in just to eat.
Sure. Yeah.
Breakfast.
They got it right.
French toast.
There is a formula that the Gnoshery has got, and they've got it mastered. Now, if we could just get the Gnoshery to open up a store where we live, that would be amazing.
That would be
Pat,
fabulous.
if you are listening, give us a call. We'll figure out a place for you. Yeah. Okay. Castle Panic. Is that? No, it wasn't Castle Panic.
No, Castle Party.
Castle Party. Another game that I just thought was fine.
It was a little flipping right. Something different.
It was a flipping right. Most flipping rights kind of have that same, I don't know, flip a card, make a shape. Thought it was neat that each person got to add, the type of monster that goes into the shape. But for the most part, not another game that I would buy.
I love Super Mega Lucky Box, and that's a pretty simple flipping right. Can't get any simpler than that.
Yeah. Again, Phil Walker Harding. Something about that guy. All right. And then, speaking of heavy weight Euros, what game did you get a chance to check out? What was it? Sunday night on Mother's Day. You got to play a game on Mother's Day that you've been looking forward to.
Legacy of You.
Say it again without rubbing paper.
I got to play The Legacy of You.
Legacy of me?
Legacy of You. YU by Garfield Games.
Oh, got it.
And yes, Shem Phillips hit it out of the park. This is so good, Chris.
Really?
It is good. It is easily my top solo game.
No kidding.
It is so good. There's so many reasons why I like it. A, they started you straight into the campaign. They did not dumb it down, say, here's a starter game. No, started you straight into the campaign. It is not like a roll and write solo game.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a Garfield board game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be easy. It's resettable. I don't have to do anything fancy to keep everything in order, but it's got this awesome insert in the box where everything sits each category sits that I need. It's a matter of putting things out, putting the cards, taking the cards out of the right slot. Technically, that insert, I can keep all the tokens there. I never have to remove them.
Hmm.
It's got a really good story. There's a lot to do. You have to really keep a balance. It's not one of those Euro type games that you can do just one thing or there's so much to do, but you have to concentrate on something. You have to do everything. You have to watch the flood. You have to make sure your barbarians don't take you over, and you have to manage how many townfolk you have in that deck. So it's really, you have to really keep that balance. You have to go after those barbarians because they will overrun you very, very quickly. I can see it happen, but I was very good at that. But the cards, obviously, as you go through the story, things get more difficult and it shuffles more cards through and stuff like that. But it just feels like a board game. That doesn't make sense. Sometimes solo games, and maybe it's because I solo a lot of roll and writes, but I feel like I'm getting a full Garfield game.
Well, that's cool.
The full experience.
I'm assuming maybe this is me not seeing you play it or seeing you play it. Do you mean by the fact that you don't have to manage an AI player?
Yes. And that might be the legacy version of it that I don't have to. And that, yes, that's a big thing too, because you don't have to. You are playing against the barbarians. I'm not playing against some invisible opponent. And even when you do have an AI, it's like mimicking another chief, but this is like this direct combat with the game.
Mm-hmm.
You're battling the game, which is very, very interesting. A lot of times when you solo things, it's against, you have to meet a score. This is essentially you're winning or you're losing. You're winning or you're losing, and you can win or lose 7 times. There's a deck that you add a card in for a victory card, or you add in a loser card somewhere that's going to be shuffled into. It's going to shuffle through a pile, and that's even when you think maybe you're going to get a benefit. Like when you've overcome part of the flood, you're thinking, okay, I did something really great. But you still get penalized for it. So it's not that it's unforgiving, but it doesn't let up. If that makes sense. It's good. I really, really like it. It's easily my favorite solo game.
Very cool.
It is really great.
I'm glad you got a chance to play it.
And I realize sometimes why I have issues with rule books is I'll be reading this rule and I'll read the rule and I'll read the rule. I'm going, what do they mean by that? And then I don't read the next line, which explains what it means by that. Sometimes I get too caught up in reading this one line and making sure I understand the rule without reading that it is explained. And I find that in some of the Garfield games, they will explain it. But I'm looking at this going, what do you mean? I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. And I need to read further in the rule book or even further down the page. There was some other game I did that too. I don't remember what it is. It's like I read the rules too finely.
Mm-hmm.
I think Resurgence was probably it. It's probably Resurgence. So I was being too thorough that it was tripping me up.
Okay.
I know you have no idea what I mean.
No, I have absolutely no idea what you're ranting or like what tangent you went off on. Like you lost me after easily my number 1 solo game.
It's time for the Chasing Meeples quiz. Will Chris make the Meeple Chasers proud by scoring max points? Or will he be serving up a fine vintage of wines? Angie has got the controls on Chris's dopamine drip. Folks, if he doesn't score high on this quiz, she might just cut him off. Will Chris get his victory high? Or will it be a dopamine drought?
Quiz time.
All right. Angie, what is the theme of this quiz? Is it feeding?
Well, no.
What?
It is not, but things do tie in.
All right.
Things do tie in. And it's all gonna tie in. This whole show is gonna tie in.
Can't wait. I can't
It's
wait.
gonna tie in, and it is awesome.
Good.
It is awesome. But right now, I'm going to give you. There's going to be 6 games, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to do, Chris.
All right.
I'm going to list the components, and I'm going to set a 30-second timer.
Oh,
and
boy.
you have 30 seconds to tell me what the game is.
All right.
All right? And there is one bonus question. So what I say, this is going to be worth 15 points because each game is 2 points, plus the bonus question is 3 points, so 15 points.
All right.
And I was going to go with 5 points each, but I really think you're going to get these. So
Pressure's on.
pressure's on. Okay. Well, I won't start with that one because that one's kind of... Not that I want to throw you a softball or anything.
Dopamine.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
You got to give me a good one to start off with.
Okay.
Get that dopamine going. You know how quickly I become
Are
mopey.
you ready?
Yes.
1 game board. 4 reference cards. 4 double-sided property boards. 12 double-sided expansion boards. 1 carousel.
10 Penny Park. Yes.
Okay.
Woo.
There you go. You got that. So that is 2 points.
All right.
Let's go on to the next one. 10 meeples, 27 loyalty cards, 5 player boards, an album crate, 27 core collection reward token.
Vinyl?
Vinyl. Yes, it is.
Woo. I'm doing good.
Oh, you are
I'm doing good. I got this one.
Let's see. Which one's the next? This is in no way a trick question. 18 cards with blocks and scoring conditions. It's the way it's written.
Yeah, it's
18
Tiny
cards. What?
Tiny Tones.
This is the component.
Yeah.
18 cards with blocks and scoring conditions.
Tinder? Tinder?
No.
Tinder blocks?
No. 18 cards.
You stink!
Oh, wait. This won't count, but is it Sprawlopolis?
It's Agropolis.
Agropolis? Okay.
I thought the 18 cards for sure would give you.
Yeah, and then I started to, okay,
Or
whatever.
to overthink it. Okay.
I got so overconfident.
15 traveler cards. 5 home boards. We have 1 game board. 72 comfort cards. 16 valley cards.
Choose your comforts.
Okay. Got that one.
Woo!
2 more.
Excitement.
2 more. Okay. Are you ready?
Oh, I am so ready. You know what time it
Okay.
is? Way past my bedtime.
6 player tokens, 6 reputation markers, 1 town mat, 8 player
Oh, come on.
aids, 36 enchantment cards, 7 companion
Flimflam.
cards. Okay, you got it.
How many seconds are left? Yeah,
8
you're
seconds.
fiddling with your TV screen or your phone screen there.
I'm fiddling. All right. Last one. 28 dungeon cards. 8 hero mats. 26 loot cards. 14 spell cards. 6 goblins. 4 goblin tokens. 8 minions. 6 boss mats. 1 boss token. 8 hero cards. 8 hero miniatures. 12 health and focus markers, 6 disarm markers.
Boo! You stink!
Oh, God, I don't know. Oh, my God, what was that? What was that?
Tiny epic pirates.
Oh. Darn it. Darn it, darn it, darn it.
Oh no, is that
Tiny Epic
dungeons? Tiny
I
epic
was going to say,
dungeons.
why are there dungeons?
Dungeons.
Pirates.
Okay, dungeons. Okay, so you missed 2 of them. But can you tell me what they all have in common? 10 penny parks, Agropolis, creature comforts, planecraft, vinyl, and tiny epic dungeons. The look on Chris's face.
What? There's a connection?
There's a connection. They are all Kickstarters.
Oh. All right.
See how everything's working in? See how it's all working in?
Never would have gotten that.
Working in.
My mind was going in a different direction.
It's working in. See, Raccoon Restaurant, Kickstarter.
Oh, kick and start.
Floyd, yeah, I got it. I got it going. Woo-hoo. Now you understand why our top 5 list of feeding games.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo. Now you get it.
No, I don't.
Restaurant, feed, food.
Oh. Seriously, I did not get that.
Now that Angie has tied it all together, it's time to simmer in the delightful aroma of our top 5 board games with a mouth-watering mix of food and feeding. Get ready, because this is not just any list. It's an epic banquet of gaming goodness that will be a feast for your ears. Put on your stretchy pants, because we're serving up an all-you-can-eat buffet of games.
All right, everybody. This is the Chasing Meeples feeding episode top 5. Angie, what are we going to do a top 5 of?
Top 5 games that either have food or feeding in it.
All right, so Angie dropped that bomb on me maybe half hour before we started recording this.
Oh, it was maybe 40 minutes.
Oh, a big 40 minutes. And so not having the time to truly think about it, she says to me, come up with top 5 games that involve feeding or food, and you can be loose. Be loose.
Be loose.
You don't have to be
loose.
Loose. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to get creative. So, Angie, what did you do to make your top 5? And after you give
Oh, I was very loose.
You were very loose.
I was very loose. I didn't want to do games that we've talked about too much before. So I was loose. So, I mean, the word top 5 maybe kind of loose. But
all right, well,
I think there was one I didn't actually write down, but yeah.
Well, I was not very loose at all.
Oh,
I was strict. And what I did was I went on BGG.
I was loosey-goosey.
Okay, so this is not my top 5 list. And this is going to be so cheesy, but I don't care.
Is this a Meeple or something?
I typed in food in the advanced search on BGG. And this is the top 5, according to BGG.
Oh, you cheated.
Food games. So who would you want to start?
You can start.
Number 5.
All right. I am going to say here and now, I played 0 of these games. But there is one game that sounds really cool. And that game and the game that sounds really cool is ranked 4,215 on the BGG rankings. And there I go, get the BGG. Oh man, Lauren.
Completely ruined my list. Completely ruined.
All right, is consumption, food and choices. Now, a name like that doesn't sound like it'd be a good game.
It doesn't.
However, let me tell you this. So this game is a game where it blends worker placement and resource management, and the theme of the game was actually designed by a dietitian, I think, and it revolves around the theme of food and lifestyle. So in this game, you navigate the intricate world of food choices and you balance your dietary needs, physical activities, and personal preferences over 6 rounds. You basically play the role of a character that has a certain dietary preference. And then that dietary preference guides your strategy throughout the game. You shop for ingredients, you dine out, you complete your recipes, and you engage in various activities, just like in real life, Angie. And the game beautifully simulates the juggle between eating, exercising, and living a balanced life. Now, at the end, you get rated on
How long you live?
no, on whether or not you basically stuck to your diet of, whatever.
Yeah.
And you gain and lose points based on how well you adhere to that preference. Now, that game actually sounds kind of neat. And looking at it, you could think about it. Think about this.
Sounds like something Ben Greenblatt would offer.
It's Ben Greenfield. Come on, Ben Greenblatt. He is a gamer. I don't want you to. I was listening to one of his podcasts. He was talking about how he was playing Fort.
Shut up.
Yes.
Shut
Yes,
up.
he was
No
playing
way.
Fort. Yes. He
All
is
right.
a gamer. He enjoys board games with his family.
Okay.
So cut the guy some slack.
There's some slack. Now he gets it. Now I cut him some slack.
All right. So anyway, think about it though. I'm seriously considering trying to find this game. You could make this fun. You could make recipes in the game and see how they work in real life. You could literally do that with this game the way it's described.
I don't think I would do that. I mean, I'd have fun playing the vegan if somebody else was paleo person or something. They had to figure out how to eat with just eating,
Yeah, nothing but
keto. Okay.
kale, right? You could live off kale, but
there you go.
So that is the number 5 food game according to Board Game Geek.
Yeah, mine is the Yawning Portal.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yawning Portal has to do with it is in the D&D universe, and you are adventurers, and you are coming off a long trek, and you're hungry. Unless you're scared to go on your long adventure and you want to get drunk first, but it is the bar, the pub, the restaurant that all the adventurers are known to go in the D&D universe. Is it Hasbro?
No, it's Avalon Hill.
Avalon Hill.
Owned by Hasbro.
Yeah. Yes. And it was a Kickstarter.
No, it was not.
Okay, it was crowdfunded.
It was Hasbro Pulsed.
It was still crowdfunded.
Yes, it was crowdfunded.
Okay. Here.
So that was your number 5?
That's my number 5, the Yawning Portal.
Number 4.
All right, my number 4, actually not my number 4. Board Game Geek's number 4 is King's Breakfast. So King's Breakfast.
How does this come up as their top 5 food games? One of the games is in the 4,000s.
Yeah.
You'd think it'd be like Food Chain Magnet or something like
just
that.
keep on listening, babe. All right. This game is ranked 4,150 on the Board Game Geek rankings, and it's King's Breakfast. So King's Breakfast is a light and fun card game designed by Alan Moon and Aaron Weisblum. Published in 2003, the game is centered around the theme of food, specifically a king's grand breakfast. So in the game, you act as king servants trying to bring the king the best breakfast from the available dishes. The aim is to get as many food cards as possible without being too greedy and attracting the king's attention. If you collect too much of one type of food, the king's going to notice. And if the king notices, Angie, you lose some cards.
Ooh.
You play several rounds, and each round, players have to choose whether to add more food to their collection or to pass. Passing can be strategic, as it allows you to potentially avoid the king's attention and hold on to your food cards. If you get the most food cards by the end of the game without getting too much attention from the king, you win. And that is the Board Game Geek number 4.
My number 4 is Endless Winter Paleomerica by Stan Kordonsky and Fantasia Games.
Okay. All right. And that's it?
Oh, we've talked about the game a lot.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if I need to go over it.
All right.
But I could tell you how it fits into the feeding. Do you know how it fits into the feeding?
You get animal cards, and you can either keep them as pets or you can eat them.
Yep, you can slaughter, hunt the woolly mammoth, and max out your food.
Number 3.
My number... I keep doing it. The Board Game Geek number 3 food game is Foodie Forest, ranked 4,137. And Foodie Forest, I didn't take any notes on that one, so just take my word for it. Foodie Forest is number 3. I totally thought I had notes on that one.
Oh, my number 3 is Three Sisters. It is a roll and write game where 3 sisters are companion gardening. So they are gardening squash, beans, and corn.
Mm-hmm.
So there we get the food because you garden to get food to eat. And it's a fun roll and write game. I've been soloing it a lot.
Yeah. So
I hate Farmer Ruth. She's a mean son of a gun.
I know. You explain her so bad.
She's nasty.
I thought it was Ethel, though.
Maybe it is Ethel. Did I call her Ruth?
You called it Ruth.
Maybe it is Ethel.
I think
It's Ethel.
Number 2.
All right. The board game. I got to get right this time. The Board Game Geek number 2 food game is ranked 1,473 in all time rankings. We're talking like out of all the games in the
What
world.
is it? 4,733?
1,473.
Okay, that's
So
the highest?
It's number 2.
Okay.
There is one that is higher than this.
Okay.
And that game is Food Chain Island. Ooh, not the one you were thinking of. It's Food Chain Island. So Food Chain Island, it's a solo game, and it's published by Button Shy and designed by Scott Alms. The game is based on a food chain sequence where players manipulate a 3x3 grid of animal cards. In this game, each animal card represents a different tier of the food chain. Your goal is to manipulate the cards so that animals eat each other in order to create a single dominant predator.
Huh.
Yep. The catch is that animals can only eat specific other animals and only in a certain order, following the rules of the food chain. Blah, blah. Blah, blah. No. Food Chain Island is a compact and quick game. Its solo gameplay makes a good choice for when you're looking for a gaming experience, Angie.
There you go.
That you can enjoy on your own. Despite its small size and quick play time, it is ranked 1,473 on the BGG rankings because it's a challenging puzzle that can keep you engaged.
So where does that fall with all the Button Shy games? You didn't do that?
I didn't do that. Sorry.
I like the Button Shy games, so fine with me.
Yeah, they're good.
My number 2 is Great Western Trail.
Ooh, because you're selling cattle. And there's your meat.
I thought for sure you were going to be like, how is that a food game? And the whole thing, because the slaughtering the cattle was going to be my food, and you would question it, and it was going to be funny. And the whole time here, you're sitting here with not even your top 5 list, your top 5 off BGG, which is that just like the top 5 searches that pulled up?
Okay, I told you. I went to the advanced search and I typed in food. And I sorted all the games that showed up by overall rank.
Huh.
Yeah. And Angie.
Yes, Chris.
I am part of the Board Game Geek community. So in a roundabout way, it is my list. This is my community. We are one.
These all
big
have food in the
family.
title.
No, they're about food, but some of them do.
What about
King's
the
breakfast is the only one that didn't.
Okay.
But breakfast is
It's
a type
food.
of meal.
Yes,
that
I
you
understand that.
feed.
What is their number one? What is your community's number one? Since
You're part of the community too, sweetheart.
I'm a paying member of the community. So,
am I. I am. Do you know why?
oh, did you join to get the geek gold?
I did. I enjoyed it. I joined it to get some geek gold, and next year, I
Gonna give away some of that geek
gonna
gold
give
for
away
votes?
some of that geek gold so we can be nominated and win the Golden Geek Award. Because that is a goal of mine.
Number 1.
Angie, do you remember in that Christmas movie,
Which Christmas movie?
the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
I do.
When Clark is going to start the lights up,
Oh yeah.
and they all do drum rolls.
Oh yeah.
All right. Drum roll, please. I'm serious. We're going to do this again. Okay. All right. The number one game on Board Game Geek is rated 37 overall.
Oh.
And that is Food Chain Magnet.
Oh, okay.
So this, I hear, is a very, very heavy game. That
Yeah,
does
but I hear it's not
look
a good game.
I hear it doesn't look pretty at all. You play the role of a CEO of a fast food chain where your goal is to outcompete other players in a dynamic market by managing resources, setting your prices, and investing in advertising to increase the demand for your products.
I don't know. I don't hear good things about that game.
It's torn. Some people love it.
Some people are just like, no, there's like
no
machine, yeah.
freaking way. Yep.
Yep.
So, but it must be some sort of good because it is ranked 37. Hold on. Angie's number 1.
Holler Tau.
Yeah. Because beer.
Yeah, you farm, you have hops. So my number 1 is Holler Tau. But did you know
Oh.
Hallertau, Germany, setting 1850, is the largest continuous hop producing region in the world. It prides itself upon being the first Middle Europe to cultivate hops. Did you know?
No. And now I do, though.
Now you do.
The more you know.
The more you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
It is. Yeah.
And then knowing is half the battle is what cartoon? Come on. Tell me. Tell me.
Isn't that an AA thing?
Oh, God. Oh, God. No, it's G.I. Joe.
Yeah. Do you know why I don't know that? Because the G.I. Joe deck building game puts me to sleep.
No, the rule book does.
Okay, the rule book.
And just for everybody's reference, what is it? The Jeep always goes back to the hangar? No.
It can only fit 6 people.
Transport.
The transport vehicle always goes back to the hangar, and it can only fit 6 people.
And then Angie falls asleep.
And then I fall asleep.
All right.
I don't get further than that.
All right. Angie.
But see, once again, I was trying to read a rule book.
All right, Angie. It is time to wrap this up. I got to get to bed. I got to wake up early in the morning. It is late. And I am having a hard time even concentrating.
What are we going to do? What are we going to talk about next time, Chris?
I want to talk about Resurgence. I'm going to give a little cliffhanger to everybody out there.
Oh, okay.
Does Chris like this game? Does Angie like this game?
Angie taught Chris this game.
Because she read a rule book. Way to go.
Oh, it sounds like you're dissing people that read the rule books. Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. Angie taught me the game. She played it solo. And then taught me the game. Look, you're falling asleep there, yawning all over the place. All right. So Resurgence, could it be the first 10 Chris has ever given a game?
You've given 10s before. Yes, you have.
It's a cliffhanger.
Okay.
And if I did give a 10, changing my reviews on BGG and my ratings on BGG in case.
In case this one deserves to be a
Tell
10.
me, what game did I rate a 10?
I think you had like Arc Nova 10, didn't you? I think you had a couple 10s.
There's only one possible other game that could be considered a 10.
What's that?
51st State.
I could go on BGG and check yours out because we're a community and I can see what you rate things.
All right, everybody. Well, I've probably edited all of this out, and none of this conversation ever happened.
Bye.
Keep chasing those meeples.
Yeah, see it all around. And I have another interesting thing. Oh, since we were talking about Raccoon Restaurants, I was actually going to say this later. Do you know what the tie-in from Raccoon Restaurants in the season was?
There's a tie-in?
There's not a tie-in, but there was an homage or a.
There was an homage.
I'm gonna say homage.
There's
I'm
an
gonna
homage
say
to the season in Raccoon Restaurants.
Well, there's something in Raccoon Restaurants that tied back to the season.
One of the customer cards?
Yes.
Yeah. Which one?
Keira Nightingale.
Ah.
Keira Knightley was in Pride and Prejudice.
Well, look at that.
I hope you cut that out.
What?
Oh, well, look at that.